Hi, I'm Windzy, just an ordinary human who enjoys creating art. I'm 33 this year. I didn't attend art school, but I've been practicing art intentionally for the past 9 years. Today, I want to share my art journey with you and how I slowly improve my skills while working full time. Ever since I was a kid, as long as I had a pencil and paper, I would be drawing or scribbling something. Or you would find me cutting, pasting, and making little crafts out of scrap materials. Creating just felt natural to me, like playing. It was a fun, carefree way to spend my free time. When I was a teenager, I got really into portrait sketching, especially of those good-looking actors and artists I saw in dramas. Back then, I dreamed of studying digital illustration in college, hoping to become an illustrator someday. But the tuition fees were way too high, and my family couldn't afford it. So instead, I went for my second favorite subject. I took a degree in Chinese studies because I also love language. After that, I started to draw less and less. Art quietly faded into the background of my life. After I graduated, I managed to secure a stable job in the city, but deep down, I was unhappy with my life. I felt trapped in an endless cycle of working, earning money, spending, consuming, and saving for security. Life didn't make sense anymore. Something was missing. Then one day, while I was scrolling through YouTube as usual, I stumbled upon a video by Adebanji Alade, an artist who loves sketching people on the streets and on the train.
Just enjoy this process. Look at people. Look intensely. Look with intention to capture the shape, capture the line, the lyrical line. I was on the bus and I'm even capturing part of the traffic. Let sketching become second nature. Let it become something that you do. You're having fun. All right. And this is the way I think. The thing is, if you get sketching like this, right? It's going to improve your artworks. It's going to improve your judgments. When you go for a life class, when you go for a portrait from life class or life drawing class, tremendous improvement. Tons of it. I'm on page 95 now, and I'm still going. And this is one sketchbook. Although I've covered 2 months of work here, but I told you I was a bit lazy here, but it doesn't really matter. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't stop.
It was a simple video of him flipping through his sketchbook and sharing his process. I'll link the video in the description below if you're interested. It was so fun and mind-blowing that I thought, why not try this myself? So I got myself a sketchbook and some pencils and started drawing scenes from my daily life. To my surprise, I felt so much joy and fulfillment just from sketching the simple things and sharing them with friends. Since then, I've been drawing almost every day. Art has become a big part of my life and I never looked back. As life moved on, my art began to change, shifting from simply replicating real life to becoming a form of self-expression. This time, I also began adding color, using colored pencils and markers. I started creating small pieces of art in my sketchbook, often illustrating myself as the main subject and sharing them on social media. Alongside each piece, I would write captions about how I felt, my thoughts, emotion, and reflections on life. It was deeply therapeutic. It healed me, always. At first, it was simply a way to release emotions. But the more I drew, the more I became aware of my true, authentic feelings deep inside. The confidence I gained from gradually improving my art nourished me and made me stronger. Eventually, I gathered enough courage to leave my unhappy corporate job. I decided to try applying for art teaching positions, even though deep down I felt insecure because I didn't have an art-related degree. To my surprise, I was offered a job as an art teacher. That was a huge turning point in my life. I didn't think too much when I first stepped into the world of art teaching. I was simply full of gratitude, grateful that I could make a living doing something I was passionate about. At the same time, I felt a deep sense of insecurity. I didn't have an art degree, and I'd often questioned, am I truly qualified to guide others? But ironically, that very insecurity became the thing that pushed me forward. It motivated me to keep improving my art, to take it to the next level, not just for myself, but for my students too. During that period, I began to take art more seriously. I bought anatomy books, studied them, and filled pages with sketches. I took online courses on sketching and watercolor, and attended physical oil painting workshops where I learned to paint from still life. I even dived into topics I used to find boring, like art history, color theory, perspective, composition. I started collecting art books by master artists. I was especially fascinated by Impressionist painters like Van Gogh, Monet, and Pissarro, as well as traditional Japanese artists like Hokusai and Kawase Hase. I was inspired, I was driven, like a sponge. I absorbed everything I could. Eventually, I started creating artworks on canvas and larger sheets of paper, with more detail and realism than ever before. Most of the artwork I created at that time were mainly for practice, to explore different mediums and improve realism. I kept studying works by different artists and visiting art exhibitions. Gradually, my artistic preference and the why behind my creations began to take shape. Of course, the books I read, the movies I watched, the music I listened to, and the places I traveled, all of these shape the way I see and create art. I found myself drawn to storytelling. I wanted to express abstract emotions and ideas through my work, often in a gentle, poetic picture book-like style. Then, in the middle of 2024, something unexpected happened. I created my first art series. Honestly, I didn't plan to make a series. It began with a single piece, then a second, a third, and before I knew it, I realized I had so much to say, all around the same theme. I saw the potential to turn it into a collection, and the idea truly excited me. For the first time, I was fully committed. I wake up at 6:30 a.m. almost every morning just to paint before going to work. There were moments of art block and frustration, but I kept going. And finally, at the beginning of 2025, I completed the series. I named it It's Me, a deeply intimate collection born from my rawest emotions and reflections on life. Creating my first art series meant a lot to me. Not just the fulfillment I felt when it was completed, also the motivation it gave me to create art consistently. And that consistency, showing up, drawing regularly, making space for ideas, was the most valuable things I gained from working on the series. I fell in love with gouache and colored pencils and chose to stick with them as my main mediums. Then, in the middle of 2025, a much bigger idea started to grow in my mind. That's when I began my second art series, the one I'm currently working on, drawing 100 trees. I have always been fascinated by the beauty of trees, the way their trunks twist and bend, how the branches reach out, how each tree grows in its own unique way. Each time I draw one, I feel a certain tone, a personality, a quiet message within it. I love every tree I've drawn because I've poured a part of myself into each one. They're like my babies. I've been uploading this series on Instagram, and you're warmly invited to have a look and share your thoughts with me. So, what's next? Right now, I'm still exploring my art style. I know I want to go deeper into watercolor and gouache. There's just so much more to learn. Lately, I have also been having some exciting ideas for a brand new series, and I can't wait to see where they take me. Looking back, I feel like life has been full of quiet blessings and small miracles. I was gently guided here simply by learning to listen to my emotions and trusting my intuition. If you're feeling lost, unhappy with your life, or struggling to find or reconnect with your passion, whether it's art or something else, I hope my journey inspires you in some way. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. You are always welcome to join me on this path by subscribing to this channel or following me on Instagram. And if you have your own life story to share, I would love to hear it. I'm Windzy. See you in the next video.